Hi, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Do you like my mug? Can you say it?
Talk to me, goose. Oh, Maverick.
Talk to me, Goose. Tom says that when
Right.
I'm quiet. What does yours say? Sassy, classy, and a bit smart, assy. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
But by smart ass, they just mean smart. Hi, I'm
And
Sarah,
I'm Candace.
and welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candace, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
So, did you feel like so smart in your fancy ass cap and gown this weekend?
Fancy ass. Of course, I felt like a fancy ass. You couldn't really see my ass underneath that gown, but yes, I felt like a magician.
You
And,
look
and
amazing.
I'm a grad school, so I have even longer like arm sleeves. And I said that's where I keep my wands.
No,
Because I'm
it's pretty
a
great.
wizard.
You looked pretty great. And I was like, you behind the podium on a mic? That's power, dude. That's power.
I know, dude. The funny part is, I know we talked about this our last, and we're recapping because now it happened that I spoke at the graduation. And I'll say I felt really prepared, right? It's been weighing on me for months. But then I got there and graduation it's like a wedding, right? But not even more. It's thousands of people, but it's and everybody's having their own special moment. But the energy is pure chaos, frantic. People are coming into Philly. The traffic's terrible. It took us 2 hours and then the traffic kept changing. So then I would change the directions to try to get a better move.
God, I do that too. It stresses me out. Like if it says like an hour and I'm like, well, let's try to do it 55 minutes. I'm like 55. And I keep changing.
Yes.
Like
So
it's
I would say, as grounded as I felt prior, I got there and I was like, whew. I was
yeah.
like, oh, whoa. But I was able to go. I went to the ladies' room. I took a moment, fixed my hair, fixed my cap, and my professors are just so supportive. Michelle and Joe, Michelle McHugh and Joe Marcini, who I know we hope to go to Drexel and work on their podcast
Yeah.
in their new podcast room. And I know that that would be fantastic. But seeing their faces, seeing my class, my specific department, which they just felt like family, which is so wild because so many of us did it online.
Uh, that's
So
a
to I thought I felt like and I knew them. And the irony of this is so much of my thesis was about being more in person with people, social intelligence. And despite me judging us connecting via Zoom, right, that we never meet people as much in person, I really felt like I did know them when I got there. And I was like, hey guys, and they made me feel good. And then I was first up, which helped me a lot. And I was like, you just got to know and breathe. There were a couple stutter steps I would have loved to have gone one more time, but that's just my emotions. It was a powerful moment for me, and I felt my dad's presence, like we talked about. There's the nerves in a different way of performing, and just emotional, and seeing the students. But I got like mid speech applause. Chad and I were talking. It's like no other speech did, but I
does
was there
throw you.
speaking.
Wait, this is gonna you're gonna relate to this because this happens to me sometimes on stage when like I'm so used to doing my material and sometimes you'll get a laugh or an applause in a section where you're like, no, that's not supposed to be funny, or get an applause there, and you probably have rehearsed this speech in your head thinking
Yeah, of
this is where they'll applaud, this is where they'll laugh, or whatever. It does
course.
throw you for a second when it goes in a spot that you weren't prepared for.
You know what they applauded that I didn't expect was that I'm 2 decades after my undergraduate graduation. I thought it was funny because I then say like, oh, it's, inspiring, but very humbling, so when they applauded, I was like, okay, hell yeah. And it was also funny, piggybacking off of that, a lot of moms and grandmas were
Ooh.
the ones that told the kids I loved her speech. So it wasn't necessarily the kids that it resonated with, which maybe it's about like, hell yeah, she went back and she did it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that is what it's about. I told you, if someone told me right now that you were to go back to school, Candace, I actually think I would crap myself. I'm so stressed out by, I was so stressed out by school as a kid that I'm like, oh, I couldn't even do it now as an adult. So I commend you 1,000%.
Okay, well, I thank you. I appreciate that. I love your support, but it is because of like people that look at you and say, you got this, that make you go for it and do it. And I would say this person we're going to be talking to today feels like she truly can conquer anything. I am so proud to call her one of my close friends. We're both very busy, so this is going to be a good catch-up session too.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, so Jana Angel, Miss Jana Angel, when she walked into a room, I'm telling you, Candace, she captures attention. I've never had people when me and her walk into a room and me not being the person, but like she stands out in a room because, well, she's a former professional volleyball player.
I
So
heard
she
her.
is incredibly impressively tall in stature. But I would say what really radiates with her is her beauty, her talent, her personality. And now she gets to shine on TV as a news TV anchor on QC Life on WBTV News in Charlotte.
I might have to tell her this because, we do our research when we bring on our guests. And I was reading her bio and I was like, oh, I definitely need to step up life because this girl's done so much. Like, I cannot believe how much she's done in such a short amount of time. I mean, we're still young people considering she's done so much. It's very impressive.
And this is one of those friends you want to keep by your side she's loyal as days come, but I would say to inspire you and motivate you as well. I was her reference one time when she was going for a job and she got the job, of course. So I'll forever be her reference.
Come on.
I'll be your reference too. Let's bring her in because I can't wait to talk to her and see how she's doing and talk about her new job and all her puppies that she loves.
She's got like 2 or 3, right?
Well, she had we'll get to it. Let's hear from her.
Welcome.
Except for I can't hear you ladies, and that's going to be half the fun. So I'm working on that on my end. Here we are in all of our wisdom.
Man, I honestly, she's making me want to go put on some more brow.
Yeah, she's got some good brows going on.
Right? The great part is that we hear her and
it's like a monologue.
And it's very funny.
It's like an internal monologue.
Like Inside Out.
Do you hear us?
I do. And I did it all by myself.
This is what we were doing we were just doing this before you got on. Oh my gosh. The beauty of that whole entire thing was that you were talking and giving us a monologue, but we understood and we were responding. So it was a conversation. You just couldn't hear us.
I mean, we were
Right,
saying how gorgeous you are.
Candace, is this you? It's like your one-woman show. I'm like, this is.
Yeah.
By the way, like I love that it's like on tour now. Like I remember, sorry, don't start.
Oh, I love it. No, keep going. But by the way, this is nothing like my show. You're very put together and organized. I'm just a nice mess on stage. It's wonderful.
I've seen that mess on stage. Sarah took me to see your mess on stage and it was wonderful. And I was wildly impressed.
Oh God. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Look at you. She's gorgeous.
Yeah,
look at us all go. Look at us doing things. I'm so proud of all of us. I'm so proud of all of us
too. Before we kick things off, there's Juno feeling better.
Yay.
Juno wants to be heard.
Juno,
I love.
Well, Jana, talk about impressive. You didn't get to hear my intro because we did it prior to bringing you on. But I talked about like the times that I went out with you where you just capture a room. And it's because of obviously you are a taller woman, but who you are as a person, as we could feel it in this Zoom, is that you truly shine through. I'm going to get emotional. You shine through as a person, not just your beauty on your outside, but in your inside too. And you continue to impress me with everything you conquer. And now you're at Charlotte. Tell me about this newer job. You've been here how long now?
Yes.
I've been here since January. Oh my gosh. First of all, like this is one thing about Sarah is like she and I will get so excited for each other and like other women and what people are doing and dogs and life is that we're both just like immediate. Like we need to be sponsored by ideally someone that makes waterproof mascara, but it's because we get so excited and passionate about other people. And I love that about you. And Candace, I know you're the same way because you just are natural hype women and it's so genuine. So first of all, I love you guys. Like before you jump into me, like, can I just say that I'm proud of both of you and like, yay for my girls. I love seeing you sharing a stage together where, we've always kind of talked about like, if no one's going to let you behind the boards or behind the curtain, like we'll make our own damn stage. We'll bring our own boards. Like we have nails, have Gorilla Glue. We'll make it happen. So the
Oh my
fact
God,
that you're
Jana,
just like,
you're getting me. You're getting me. My eyes are tearing.
I just like, again, I'm just like really big on like, if I can hand a flower directly to you, I will. So here's one for you, one for you. Really proud of you ladies and the stage that you're building for yourselves and for other women. But yeah, so Charlotte, I'm like a boomerang local. I was born and raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is right down the road. And I think Sarah and I bonded over like big city, big dreams kind of like things and, adventures. And I never thought that I would be coming home, but I did. And it wound up being a great opportunity. I also don't think I saw Charlotte becoming a top 20 market, which was something that was great for the Queen City. But the fact that I boomeranged back is where I am now.
There's no place like home, Dorothy.
There really is
I'll
no
get
place like home.
there.
Yeah.
But like you said, that big city dreams, you do that, and then you're like, wait a second, but maybe it was always wonderful back home. But you got to taste that other stuff. But I want to talk really quick about how we met. Candace and I had our one of our last conversations we talked about how friendship is just, it's one of the, I was going to say just as important as family, as our partners. But I said how sometimes when I meet my really close friends, it is this chemistry reaction, just like when you meet like a love partner. So Jana, you also certified as a love partner. No, but we were both getting our nails done in Palm Beach Gardens, newer to
Yes.
the city. And literally it was a magnetic connection.
Yes.
Did you feel the same way, or is this just one-sided love?
No, it was totally the same. And I think we're both pretty, especially like in this era of our lives, like we're both pretty settled and happy with who we are. But I remember feeling like a cool girl from like a cool part of the table, like came to talk to me. And I remembered you actually kind of advocated for me because I was, the pressures of the nail salon are like unmatched. Like the pressures at the nail salon are unmatched. Like the designs and the whatever. And I'm like, hey, like my nails need to be pretty neutral because at the time I was doing brand work and like there was a lot of like camera and hand action, which I think Sarah can appreciate like from her HSN days. But you have to be pretty specific about like your nails. And, the lady was trying to say like, oh, we could add this and this. And I was like, no, I said, I'm sure your artwork is beautiful, but like, I have to do this like for my job. And she's like, well, what job is this where you can't have fun nails? And I'm like, and Sarah like comes over and she's just like, knows that we have some sort of connection. And so we started talking. And my friend before I came on this podcast was like, well, how did you even meet Sarah? And I was like, I think we were just two yappers who were dying to yap because I hadn't met anybody. Sarah will tell you my MO is just to show up in a city where I know no one or a country or whatever, and I will just start to exist. And Sarah was just this warm light that just floated right over to me. And all you want to do is listen to Sarah. Like, I know there's going to be a song break, there's going to be choreography, which is why when she introduced me to Candace all these years ago, and she's like, I have a friend that does a one-woman show, and I'm like, of course you do. Of course that's a friend that you have. And it's just, to me, somebody who is so proactive in sharing love and being connected to people, even though Sarah, I know that you're working on that in therapy and getting better at like not feeling like you have to connect to everybody. First of all, good for you. Good. I say like good moisturizer and good therapy, like spend your money on those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just and it's been that way ever since. Like, even if it's far away, like the second you're back with Sarah, it's just like nothing. I didn't miss a beat.
Oh my God. You too. I can't. I have to go back though. I got to go way back because I was telling Sarah, obviously I know you, but at the same time, I was like, I'm going to read her bio and do my research. And I read your bio and I was like, Jesus Christ, like your bio is so damn impressive. And I was like, I got to up my game, man. This one woman show's not cutting it. But the thing that blew my mind, and I did not know about you, is you were a professional volleyball player.
Yes. So that's what's so funny is like, I don't know if it's really a bio or just, ChatGPT really helping me take my ADD life and make it into something cute. Because it was like, wherever the wind takes me, kitten. I know that you ladies have talked about that. And like, I I think the only thing that would really scare me other than cockroaches, even then when they got rebranded as palmetto bugs, is regretting not trying something or not taking an opportunity, which Sarah will tell you that's how I wound up in WWE with her for 10 minutes. But, you know, just I never thought I wanted to touch a volleyball again after college because I was just so burnt out, like kind of typical athlete route, and very similar how you two talked about wanting to go to Broadway. Like the Olympics was my Broadway, and I hadn't gotten there, and I had tried out twice. And I like to joke and say that Karch Karai, who was the coach of the women's national team, is really the only man who ever truly broke my heart because he cut me. Twice. And the Olympics is something that, you know, it's not even like you can go to the next audition. You got to wait for 4 more years. And, you know, things are changing and whatever, but playing over in Europe gave me this great opportunity to continue to play a game that I loved, figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up yet. And walking across the stage, you've got like this pile of degrees in your chords and you're like, what are we doing? Like, because I didn't know, and everyone else is like, I want to be this. And I remember, I'll never forget, there was a girl with a live hamster on her graduation hat in a wheel that was coming from the vet school. And I was like, homegirl knows exactly what she's doing. She glued a hamster wheel and a cage to her hat. She's been here all day. This is commitment. And like my parents had to threaten me with a knife to make sure I flew back from Spain for my graduation. Cause I was like, and my mom was like, if you don't get your butt back here, I will drag you back by your hair. So, you know, it was just, you know, but then I just went and played volleyball. Like, by the way, this is very challenging. Usually I feel like I'm on the other side of this. And now I'm just like this like rambling panic attack that I'm like.
You are brilliant. You have such an outstanding way with words. You already gave us a slogan, 2 yappers just dying to yap.
Oh, I love it.
See, the thing that I love, Jana, is that you're not just a genuine person that can talk. You're obviously brilliant too, but she can sell. I know from my HSN days, she could tell a story. We were talking about being storytellers as our profession. But I have to ask you, you are destined for the spotlight. You were not that as a child? I'm sure
First of all, that means a lot coming from both of you. No, like I was the complete opposite. I was like a walking like 45-year-old like divorcee, like, and not the cool divorcees now, but like the back in the day like divorce. Like I was worried about retirement. My parents will tell you I had like a breakdown on my 13th birthday because like I was worried I hadn't adequately saved for retirement and what was that going to look like. I wasn't a fun gal. Like I was worried about what was going on my resume. I was worried about getting into college, and at like 7, you know what I mean? Like I was an old soul, but not like the cool hippie way. And like I think we're concerned about her way. And I think that was just how my eldest person in me manifested. And my dad was a very hardworking entrepreneur. My mom was very hardworking. So all I was worried about was working and being dedicated. And if I wasn't going to be the best, and if I wasn't going to be number one, then what's the point in living anyways? And that's not a great way to go, but I was so hyper serious and I was so hyper focused. I think my parents were kind of like, oh, we might have overdone it. Like we might have they're like, we want you to have fun. And I'm like, fun's not get me into the Olympics. Like fun's not, like I was just,
okay, hold on.
And they're like,
that's some older sister syndrome. Okay. But now I have to ask, do you feel like you're chill now? Or you're chill?
No one's ever going to be like, you know how we would describe Jana, super chill. No, like that's not coming out of anyone's mouth, but I'm definitely more fun, and I'm definitely so much more comfortable with who I am. And it's like, this is what I got, and this is pretty good. And if you don't like that, like, that's okay. Like, I'm not Taco Bell. I'm not here to make everyone happy. I'm here to make the people happy who care about me, who love me, who deserve my love, versus before I was probably leaving people behind who poured into me, who cared about me, who wanted to make time for me. But I'm too worried, trying to get these gremlins over here who have nothing better to do than say nasty things about me. And I'm so worried about, well, why are they saying these nasty things? It has nothing to do with you. Like, it just goes back to like what I'm sure all of our wonderful moms told us back in the day. It's like, hey, maybe they're not your friends. Maybe they are jealous. It's like, well, great. If they're not nice, then like let's take some lessons from like our elementary school. It's like, if they're not nice, then you don't have to talk to them, And I think in our industries, we get a lot of not nice, But
Yeah,
that's not why we do what we do. We do it for the people who are nice. Like we do it for the other young women who want to be on stage, who want to be on a mic, who want to have a one-woman show. Like, why am I worried about
I want.
everybody else? But my whole first part of my life, I was worried about everybody else.
I have to say this. I have to like stop you because you said a perfect slogan. Not everyone could be Taco Bell.
Yeah. I can't make everyone happy. I'm not Taco Bell.
Not, you're right. Not, and if I had that in my brain 10, 15 years ago, I truly think my life would have been a little differently. Yes, my comedy would be way less self-deprecating, but you're so right. And your outlook on that is so beautiful. And I think, like you said, it took you a bit to get here because I was sort of like you. I was a really interesting younger child. I wasn't very confident and I was an old soul, but I love that you're at this point where you're sort of like the train's moving. If you want to jump on and be a part of my ride, go ahead. But if you don't, keep going and jump off because I'm not stopping. And I love that. You're not making unnecessary stops in life. That's so beautiful.
And as somebody who's literally had someone jump on a train to talk to her, which was like still one of the highlights of my life. And this is why I also think every girl should just go live in Europe for a second. But like
Ooh.
somebody will jump on the train for you. Like, and if they're not, like jump on the train for yourself. And you know who, like your girlfriends will jump on the train with you. Like the good people in your life will jump on the train with you. Don't worry about like everyone else being on your train or not. Like Sarah, she jumped on my train, like, you know, and I will always jump on her train. But I think that's where it is. But I totally would have been friends with Sarah as a younger person because like I was nice but like I would have just wanted to like be in her shiny.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it. I get it. I get it.
I feel speechless. So, Jana, you have a production company too?
Yes. What is this Posh Theory Media?
I'm like, when
So
did I miss you are a one. We had Ravi Around the World on, who is a one-man band. You're
he
a
is,
woman
yeah.
who can do it all. And whether you're a figure outer. If you, like you said, if there's a challenge yourself, you say, I could do it. And I want to know more about your production company, but also that kind of attitude and how you figure it out.
One thing I knew I could do was work. Like that's one thing I've always known was in my control, that was on my time. Like I can outwork anybody. I can out hustle anything. And there's a time and a place for that. And Posh Theory came out of a very true and necessary hustle era. I knew I was getting into media, and there's not really a direct path. And especially when you're looking at something like news or like lifestyle, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I just started getting calls. Like Sarah will tell you, we'd go to the opening of a door. We went to everything. We were all the things. We were networking. We're moving and grooving. And people just start calling me and saying, do you know somebody who can do this? Do you know somebody who could do this? And I just kind of became like the go-to gal for things in media. And guess what? That's a producer. So I kind of started just producing by way of phone calls and being someone that people trusted. And again, kind of like your work ethic, you choose when you show up. And one thing is we will always show up. If I say I'm going to be at your birthday party, come hell or high water, I'll be at your damn birthday party. If I say I'm picking you up, like that's something that's very important to me, is just showing up if I say I'm going to show up. And that became a way for me to make money. And I was good at understanding brands and visions. And where I saw a gap was a lot of companies had really great products and really great people and really crappy representation of it. And I think Sarah can speak to this too with HSN and anything where you're talking about product. If you're not passionate about it, or the person that you're seeing isn't passionate about it, it just looks like someone's trying to sell you crap. Versus like, I think this would be a beautiful piece on you. Or like, I think this would be a great car for your family. That I think was what was missing, is like the storytelling part. Like, I feel like now that's very like, it's very industry jargon. It's like the storytelling. That's really where I started. Was there were so many brands and so many things, even in real estate, where I'm like, well, this house has a story. Like this person who could live here has a story. So painting that picture of what it was. And that's where Posh Theory came through.
You know what I think is really cool that you talked about was how important the representation is, right? So that's some of the background that you had. I think we both did product specialists or, spokesmodel work when we were talking about our nails, which I desperately need to get done. But that's something that a lot of people, I think, take for granted. They're like, oh, that's just an actor host talking about the product. But how you represent this product, and let's say the number one thing, how you represent yourself in business, really gets you
Mhm.
ahead as well. I thought that was brilliant, but also you were connecting naturally what you take for granted as you as a person, and you created a full business. Were you above yourself seeing all this stuff connect, or are you just charging forward like the train that we were talking about?
I think at that point, like, and I was definitely more in like in a much more confident era then, like I was like, hey, like people are calling me, like they're calling me for a reason. And again, there's nothing I'm like, I can't Google, I think the kids these days, they're like, may your Delulu be Trululu. And there's a lot of gravity to that. There's dumber people making bigger moves than you because they believe they can. So, that was so much of it. And just me seeing like, hey, I'm creating good things and I'm finding good people to create them with. That was another thing that I felt like I really was so blessed with and got very lucky with was I had my people that I could work with and I knew what projects and where they would excel. So certain videographers, I knew these guys can really shoot real estate. One young woman, Mariana, was always my go-to social girl because she got it, and it's also making sure the people around you as a business owner are set up to be successful. Because if somebody doesn't like you, well, why are you putting them on that project? So it's like making sure that the people are successful. And I felt like I was really good at seeing where people excelled in certain areas, especially when it came to cinematography or media. Yeah, when I took a step back, I think the time that really got me was there was like a Land Rover commercial. There was literally an astronaut that was coming in for this commercial. And the guy who was running it, his wife was going into early labor, and they called me and they were like, "Can you come run this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure I can."
Amazing.
And I don't know that like young Jana would have been like, "Yeah."
There's two things about you that I think you might realize about yourself, but I'm going to point them out because I'm pretty freaking impressed by this. It's the fact that you are so good at registering what other people's talents are, what your talents are, and then what maybe you weren't 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and what you are now. And then you're able to use that to the best of your ability to create a brand, to create, like you said, a story. And I love that what you said just before, where you were like, yeah, he's really good at that. She's really good at that. Let me bring that all together. That is what a CEO is. That is what a girl boss is. And that makes someone, to me, talented and also like marketable and useful in this world. Like I'm so proud of you for that because I don't see a lot of that. I see more of like a me energy. And that is not what you are at all. And I just love that. It's just an energy of like, how can we all do this together and all collectively grow? And that's a huge thing. And I don't know if that's something you always were, but like you are that now, baby.
That means a lot. I think it's always been really easy for me to spot what other people are good at. It took me a while to figure out that like to help other people, I also need to know what I am good at. To surround myself with the right people, I need to know what parts I'm missing. And I told the story to a group of young students that I was talking to, and I said, when I was up for my first team captain thing. And, I came home and I was just heartbroken because I didn't get team captain, and was telling my dad that I didn't get team captain to the basketball team. And he said, well, who got it? And I said, well, Megan. He said, well, who did you vote for? And I said, well, Megan. and, and he was like,
Oh my
so
God.
you didn't even vote for you? And I was like, well, no, like you can't vote for yourself. He goes, why the hell would anyone else vote for you then? And it was such a turning point for me. And Sarah's met my dad, and he's this big, like 7 foot, like 400-pound person, like who's very loving, but he's also
Yeah.
old school sports guy. And he's like, well, if you wouldn't vote for you, like, why would anybody else even vote for you? And I was like, that's so true. If I wouldn't hire me, if I wouldn't pay me, if I wouldn't give me money, if I wouldn't put me in the front and center, if I wouldn't put me in the middle of a magazine, why the hell would anybody else? But if I don't feel like I'm not supposed to be exactly where I am, maybe a little further, then I can't serve anybody else.
Yeah. And I think that's really hard as a woman. So you're doing that really freaking well. I think a lot of times that's just, my opinion is being a gal these days. I feel like I have to take the time to remind myself about my wonderfulness because I don't always feel it. I don't always see it. And I have to really take that moment because I think today we're all just go, 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 go. And then we're not sitting back and going, wait, I have to vote for me first. And then everything else will come into play and fall into place. Oh my God, such good stuff.
One of the things that I usually say, because we are women that like to have our control, right? And want
Yeah.
to conquer things. But in some of the circumstances, you have to answer to an agent or, a producer. But I always say, nobody will work harder for you than you. Don't rely on anybody else to get something done. But I also, piggybacking off of my own self, you also have to create your network, which you do, Jana, so beautifully, that will rise, that will lift you up, and make you a better version of you as well. I have to say, you've conquered a lot and you continue to do more incredible things. What are some things in your future that you want to conquer? Are there still things that you're looking at and you're like, that needs to get done? Check that, check.
When I look at like the immediacy of it, of what we're doing, like here, I'm at WBTV in Charlotte right now. We're sitting in like, this is like my home studio. A big thing that I know that we want to do here for TV news is kind of continue to bridge that gap between digital, social, and then TV news, because I think people freak out and they're like, TV is dying, this, that, and the other. And it's not, but it's that TV's growing up, just kind of like any other medium. YouTube has grown up, like all these other different platforms have grown up. And so I think TV's been one to grow a little slower and change a little more slowly. But I feel like I got very lucky in this pocket, particularly where there's a lot of people that are really excited to see how to bridge that gap, because it's about keeping people connected. It's about making sure that people are getting good, accurate, safe information, especially when, you've seen all these videos of AI kind of being weaponized to scare people and things like that. So news has a really tough job and a tough road to hoe, but the more we can connect people through our digital platforms, through our social platforms, we're still in the lives of people as they want to consume media, but we get to continue to be that like trusted source, and we get to continue to be a local source that's a little bit different. So I think specifically here and immediately, that's what I'm excited about, is like to continue to bridge that gap and to get people to love TV again. I think people got burned in a lot of ways because they see it as just bad news. I don't do any bad news in here. Like in these pretty walls in here, I'm talking about pet adoptions, and I'm talking about new restaurants, that maybe have passed down to a different generation. And, the younger generation is like, hey, we've gone viral on social media, and this is what we're excited about to share our menu with people because it's something that my Nona made. Or, is this something that's brand new and it's a concept that, we're bringing to the community that we get to share? So many different things. So I think that's something that I'm immediately excited about, that we're actively working on. But then in the future, like I think I just want to see how far can I push everything? How how big of a stage can I get on? Like how big can I be? And I think before I wouldn't have articulated that, like, I want to take up all the space. I want to breathe all the air I can, except for my queen, Dolly Parton. Sarah knows I love her dearly. Candace, are we a big Dolly fan? Did I just find this out about
I'm a
you?
very big Dolly fan. Like there's a musical coming out about her life, and I just can't. I'm getting really hot and about it. Like
I'll come to the city. We'll all go.
we'll all go. Let's all go. It's coming
We'll
out.
all go. We'll take this on location. But she was very clear, and she said, I always wanted to be rich and famous, and I always wanted to sing my songs and my music. And it's like, well, what's wrong with that? And the reason I want to be as big as I possibly can is because the bigger I can be, the more I can serve. I do think that there's something very directly related to, if you have a platform and you have a capability, then you just have a bigger hammer to swing when problems come up. And so I think that's what's important to me. The bigger I can make the Shady Pines Retirement Village for old people and older dogs, which is like a vision that I have, I'm like, that's something that I want to conquer, is just finding a place for people, when they feel like there's not a place for them. I think that's so important. And I'm going to get emotional because I think that age is something that is something we're all going to face, like no matter how great and this and that and the other we are in their youth. Like I would love to create a space for animals and people when we're in graceful years. But I would love to be on a national network where I'm like sharing stories with people that are making a difference from all over the world. That's something that's always been really important to me, is connecting countries and communities, because so many people, I think, have this vision of outside of what you maybe grew up with or what you've seen, other things can really seem scary. And I've traveled so much, and what I've seen is that everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be accepted. Everyone likes great food. Everyone likes great music. Everyone has parents that think they should be doing their lives differently. Everyone has aunts that are going to ask them why they're not married yet, even though they're smart and young and beautiful. It just happens with different accents, like
You are
everyone's really the same.
You are so good. You are a star. You're going to keep rising. You are brilliant. You can solve world peace. I swear to you. You are brilliant. How you speak and what it just shines through. And friend,
Hours, man.
God, her and I are speechless. And that's so rare. We're just doing a lot of hand motion just because I wanted to give you standing ovation throughout that whole speech.
I wanted to do this, like when you shake your jazz hands. Like I was like, I just want to shake my jazz hands. I just want to say, oh God, I could talk to you for hours and just listen, just school the shit out of me, Jana. But I will say this. One thing that you just did, which I think a lot of people have a hard time doing, male or female, doesn't matter, is saying exactly what you want and not being afraid that it feels too big to say out loud. Like you're saying it and you're like, it might sound big to someone else, but to you, it sounds real. And that's, to me, 101 in manifesting. And that's when shit actually happens. You have to say it, right? You have to write it down. You have to say it. So I absolutely love that you do that and you teach others to do that, whether you realize it or not. You just taught us. You just reminded me that I have to freaking do it. I'm like, oh, that's right, Candace. Fucking say. Oh, I just cursed on our own podcast. Here we go. Say it. But the last thing I want to ask, I know, Sarah, we're running out of time, but Jana, is there something that makes you happy? Like Sarah and I joke about our happiness, but then we're serious and we say this is a serious happiness and this is a fluffy happiness. Do you have anything that's like a fluffy happiness that kind of makes you happy every day?
I mean, the easiest fluffy happiness is my dogs, like Hank and Reba. Sarah and I are such dog people. I think it's the most pure love. I don't have a human child, but no one is more excited and happy to see me than a floofy dog. I think it's just the most wonderful thing. When I hear people talking about bad partners or whatever, and I'm like, you should get a dog because you know who's never going to let you down is your dog.
I love how much you guys are using floofy. I thought I was the only one that used that word. I literally called Juno my floof.
Oh God, and maybe that's where I got it from.
She's my floofy happiness too, Jana. And that's why we're doing this via Zoom, because Floofy was a little upset. Her tummy was upset.
Yeah. And I was like, I completely understand. It's mom life, whether it's a human child or a four-legged or Mike three-legged dog.
Laying behind us, out cold sleeping. I'm
oh
like,
my gosh, cannoli.
Cannoli, out cold. I'm like, get up, Knowles. He's out.
This is literally like why we work hard, is so our animals can have a better life.
Yes, to have a backyard.
So my dog can eat like the best food.
Oh gosh, that's what got her a bad stomach. Well, Jana, I love you very much. It's been too long since we've had a catch-up session. We'll do it over wine soon. We'll go see Dolly Parton's musical. Maybe we'll go opening night and try to go see Dolly herself. Let's figure it out.
Go. I say we sneak backstage and see if we can get all three of us on stage, because then we will have been on Broadway together.
I would. Oh, box checked. Thank God.
I don't know if
we might go to jail afterwards, but hey, either way, it's definitely an episode of a podcast.
You know what? Check the jail box as well. It's fine. It's on my list.
Keep conquering everything, being as beautiful as you are, inside and out. Grateful for your friendship, and go get them, girl. You are just
honestly.
Yeah.
How about let's go, girls? Let's go.
Girls.
We'll all go.
Let's go, girls. I
love you.
Thank you so
much.
Oh my God, she's a darling and such a great human.
She makes me want to be a better person. Yeah, she's truly one of a kind. But, I think some people may not all have that kind of just go get them and just do it energy.
It's a gift.
But it is natural for her. But what we all have to take away from is having that courage to live that boldly And to find that kind of confidence, some people may find it to be somewhat cocky, but I think that's just someone who believes in themselves, and that's not something that should seen as negative, right? But to jump in the deep end and go for it because we only have this one life.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying is I love that she knows what she wants and she says it out loud. Like I'm sometimes the person that's like, oh, I know what I want, but I'm just going to hide behind something for a minute because I don't feel confident enough. And I have to, she was a reminder to me today of being like, go for it. What are you waiting for? And that's to me, like you said, some people maybe take it as a little too much of like, I can't do that, or I'm not like that. And I take it as like, oh crap, you're reminding me of all the things that I want to do. I just haven't done it because I maybe am a little shy in this moment, or I'm a little insecure. And she's like, just go for it, And I love that.
I was a keynote speaker at a PR conference, and one of the questions I got was that, like,
Yeah.
how do you do jump out and go into the deep end when it is that scary? I was like, somebody chose me for this. Somebody believed that I could do this. And if one person believes and they saw that specialness, then
Yeah.
I should do it because they see it in me, even if I don't see it in myself. I don't know if I've said that before, but if I repeat myself, I apologize. But but if somebody sees that, and that's a thing like her, she notices what shines in people. And that's something that I feel too is like sometimes we don't see it within ourselves, but you ask one of your closest friends and they'll tell you exactly what they're like, oh, this stands out. You are so good at this. And you just gotta ask someone. If you doubt it, ask your people. Your people know.
Good point. I think you're right. I think a lot of people may not see it in themselves, but they see it in others. Because I do feel like that too. Like I can see it in others, but maybe not always in myself at times. But the thing about Jana is, first of all, she's so warm.
Mhm.
And her energy just comes through. Like obviously we're not all in person right now. And I felt like I was sitting in her living room. It was beautiful. And she's so articulate. So you can tell all those years of professional experience of being a news anchor, an executive producer, just blows through the microphone and the camera. I'm like, it's amazing. It's just
She
shining.
also has a way with words that I was like, wow, that's eloquent, or that's really sharp and funny.
Yeah, I was quiet at times because I was like, oh, I'm going to sound like a moron. I'm going to wait a minute.
Absolutely. And that's obviously just naturally very, very smart. But also, like, she's a Southern belle. So I think they all have those catchphrases. We make up language up here in the North. We're like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like, you're just sweet as tea, or I don't even know I don't know the phrases, but like we just make up words.
She did say, which I'm going to steal because there's a few you're right. There's a few phrases in here that she said that I loved, but one I'm going to steal is not everyone could be Taco Bell and we don't have to be. She said something like that. And I was like, that is hilarious to me. I'm going to say that from now on. I don't have to be Taco Bell. I can't be perfect all the time.
It's funny, I don't eat Taco Bell. The last time I had it was in college. And Chad secretly has Taco Bell. I was like, there was Taco Bell in the garbage. And I
Wait,
guess it doesn't have to be secret. But
did
like if he has it, if he has it at lunch or something,
Tom does the same thing. He secretly has Taco Bell. What is that?
that's very funny.
I can't
Oh
believe
my God.
it.
Well, guys, we're here to tell you we know you eat Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Maybe we might not be Taco Bell, but they get it when
We're not Taco Bell.
and that's okay. Well, she was very much my happiness for today, but let's move on to another happiness. For
Yeah.
what I was gonna say, I'm heading to Puerto Rico with Chad's mom, sister, and brother-in-law to Thursday. So we're gonna get some sunshine and some family quality time. So we're looking forward to that. And the last time we were there, it was we had such a beautiful, memorable trip. So it'll be fun to have a go back with a new gang.
That's a really good happiness. Mine's not as great, but it is a happiness. I finished a 115-page script that I've been working hard at, and that I know, fall off the chair. Let me tell you, I've written a ton of scripts in my life, but like when you have to sit and really write something that is close to the heart, and you have this vision, and you don't know if it's good, just to finish.
Mhm.
Never finished. Like, obviously, like you have to go back, rewrite, change scenes, move things around. But to get to the page where you write the end and then you're like, okay, at least it's out there. That's my happiness. It's out there.
I just I just jumped for joy for you legitimately, and I think my hip went out. But also an incredible accomplishment.
Oh.
Absolutely. So how do you celebrate the end?
Oh, I had some sangria.
I was going to say, did you have a cocktail?
I had some sangria.
All right. Well, when's the next project?
Oh God, there's some which I love. There's so many.
Don't start. We'll get to that. That's what we learned today is like you could just keep going, take on everything. I'm sure you have multiple different projects, but you know what? There's projects around the house. Cannoli's waking up. He's saying too loud, guys. I gotta go check on Juno Bug. But I don't know about you, but I'm inspired.
I am. I'm gonna go do something amazing. I'm not sure what that is, but it's gonna
Jana Angel, I vote for you for president.
You got to vote
anytime.
That was amazing. Let's go.
Love you, friend.
See you next week.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.